Hello, and let's continue our journey into the Act 2 challenges. The next one is Mail Detective. This one was kind of surprising to me because I never used Cur this way. So let's check it out. For this challenge, we need to talk to Morris. So if you go to the objectives and look at Mail Detective, he is at the City Hall. And we are going to use IMAP for our investigation. So we need to talk to Morris here. It's going to introduce himself and the challenge. And I believe there's only one hint for this one, but it's a really, really important hint. So let's get that hint. And this hint points to this everything.cur.dev, which is explaining how to use Cur also for POP3 and IMAP, which is really, really amazing. I had no idea that Cur can actually do this. This is going to be sufficient for the first couple of requests that we need to send him. I also just used Google AI search and got the reminder of the commands that way, but I'm going to show you how I solved the challenge. And that's the only hint that we're getting. Let's fire up this terminal here. I'm going to open my notes. And the welcome message is going to explain that your mission is to investigate the emails. You have this email account with some backdoor credentials. And this is Dosis Mail. And Holiday Magic is the password. And we have to use curl, in this case, to interact with a mailbox of this backdoor user. So the first order of business is to authenticate. Everything runs on the local host here. So we are just telling curl to use the IMAP protocol. So here the protocol is no longer HTTP or HTTPS, but IMAP:// and then the local host and the IMAP port. We're going to use the credentials provided for us. This is going to list out the various folders available in this mailbox. Now, up at the top, there is one interesting one. I'm not really sure why. I haven't started there when I was working on this challenge, but I went instead to the inbox folder here. And unfortunately, that's kind of a detour from the solution, but I will show you how you can interact with this mailbox. Some of the commands can be executed this way. Sometimes, however, you might need a more verbose output to get anything meaningful back. I will show you some examples. So I'm going to switch back and forth between commands that have the -v option and the ones that do not. For example, this one gives a little bit too much detail for our needs. So the initial command of connecting to the account is probably better without the -v option. Apparently I was using ChatGPT as well. In the notes, I have that one. So maybe it wasn't the Google AI search functionality there. Some of the challenges I did use the AI search functionality, which by the way works pretty well. I know people are not necessarily satisfied with that, but I had some pretty good experiences with this. So the next order of business is to determine how many email messages are in a given folder. And I started with the inbox folder. There's the examine command in IMAP to do that. And to hit enter here, it's going to tell us that we have 7 messages and 7 recent, meaning that they're unread. There is also the search all functionality, which allows you to search across all the email messages and get the index number for the message. So you can also see that we have 7 messages here. And if we would like to see maybe a portion of those messages, just the headers and part of the body, we can use something like this. So fetch 1 to 7. This is going through the emails from 1 to 7, and body peek is going to, well, as the command suggests, peek into the body portion of the message. And then we're going to also get the header fields. So we're going to grab the date, the from, the to, and the subject fields. Now, this is going to give me a not so useful output. So these are just the commands that we send. And this is one of those commands where a verbose output is really necessary. So I'm going to instead run this version of the command. And this is a nice terminal. It allows us later to scroll up and down. So I'm just going to hit enter, and then we can scroll up at the top of the messages. And we see here messages that are potentially can be interesting, and we might want to take a closer look. So we see here, help, my electronics keep disappearing and reappearing, strange garden ornament behavior. So these are all messages that were probably AI generated because there's a lot of like emojis in the subject field. But this can be something that we might want to look through. There's only 7 emails here, so it's not terrible to view all of them. I'm going to show you one, and then later you, if you feel like, can explore these. If you want to read a message, then you use the fetch command again, and we want the body portion of this email message. And again, this is one of those commands where you want the verbose version of the output. This gives you actually the body part. As you can see, there's nothing suspicious here. So we're looking in this challenge, the paste address that the gnomes were using in the spam emails. And well, this has nothing even related to that. And then you can go on and fetch other email messages again, but you will not find anything. Where you should look actually is the spam folder. Again, we're just going to use the examine command, and we see that we have 3 email messages in the spam folder. Again, I could use the search all, but let's just peek into these messages quickly. And we see here a few email messages from Frozen Network Bot. There's Atnas Recon Unit, and there's also Frost Minion. So these are all categorized as spam. Oops, sorry. Clear the terminal. And we can fetch the email messages here one by one again. Fetching the first one with the body text, we see that there is plenty of JavaScript. When you read the introduction from Morris, he is going to mention that these email messages contained a lot of JavaScript code. So you have to read through the JavaScript here. And this first message is just a credential stealing fish. So that's not what we're looking for, but it's getting close. And I think it's the second email message where we have the information that we're looking for. So I'm not going to read the third one just for time's sake, making this one a bit shorter video. And you can see here that there is the paste URL mentioned here in this email message. So the solution for the challenge requires us to, fetch this one, but not by visiting it. You shouldn't do this, of course, on a browser where you potentially might accidentally click on the not defanged indicator. So I'm going to close this terminal and submit the URL, and then talk to Morris to close down this challenge. And there we go. So this is Email Detective. And using curl for reading IMAP messages, which was really a cool experience for me. Again, I had no idea that you can do this with curl. I guess this is a tool that I should spend a lot more time. on and learn about the nuances and the cool features that it has. But that's all for this challenge. So let's move on to the next one in the next video.